Hey, Tyler. T.Y. Dopanos, that's me. That's what they call me. You've been exposed, yeah. Yeah, YouTube is weird. YouTube, like, default first name thing. I don't like it. Hey, Royal Shield. Pretty crazy day today? Yeah. Yeah, wild day. Dopamine, that's right. That's what we're after. I'm not sure if it's dopamine or endorphins. I'm not sure what it is you get from flying through bronze circles. Or serotonin or whatever. One of those. One of those ones, you know. Nice casting, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I wonder which one it is. Nothing like some Dratnos on a Saturday night. Yeah, it's probably a short stream today. It's probably like probably another 2-hour one or something. And then nice early bed, so I get a full night's sleep before, because I gotta wake up early again tomorrow. One of those silly little chemicals, exactly. Exactly. I think those are all endorphins, but you just work here? Sounds plausible. Bed? Yeah. Yeah, I've only got like 7 hours the last 2 nights, so need to make sure I actually fall asleep for 8 hours tonight. I don't like missing sleep. I don't like being below 8 hours, like, at all, but it's hard to avoid it for me if I have to wake up at 8 a.m. I just have a hard time falling asleep at midnight. That's too early for me. But if I stream first or, like, do stuff, I can tire myself out, so it all comes together. It's all part of the plan. Should rename my AUG Dopanos? I guess AUGs do kind of give out some happy chemicals to their group. The strat is to be Twitch sub and watch on YouTube with premium. If you're Twitch subbed, you don't get ads on Twitch, so maybe that's not true for Prime subs anymore. I think it is still for Prime subs. It's just not for Prime site-wide like it used to be, like 5 years ago or whenever they changed that. I think if you're Twitch subbed, though, you don't get ads. I think streamers can turn that off, but I would never turn that off. But yeah, I mean, if you like YouTube, oh, if you're trying to give me the maximum money, I actually don't know whether I get more money per hour from somebody watching with YouTube Premium. I guess, yeah, if you're subbed, then, because with Twitch Turbo, I get a cut of the ads that you would have watched. With YouTube, yeah, I guess it's, if you're Twitch subbed, then I wouldn't be getting anything from you watching, but if you're Twitch subbed and watching on YouTube, then you're not getting anything out of the Twitch sub either, so. Hey, MZs. You were told there wouldn't be a stream today? You feel lied to? Yeah. I changed my mind. It was, you know, 9 p.m. I finished my stuff early. Click on the stream. Is Growl going to become a mainstay of the Potty C? I hope he'll be a frequent guest. I don't know if he'll be a mainstay. I don't. He's been on for 10% of the episodes so far. If we put him on for much more, we'll have to start paying him, which is gonna be hard because we haven't paid ourselves yet either. We've just been accumulating money. Jump shot, thanks to the Prime. Question, why don't you say my guild team instead of Dratno's guild team? I don't know, I mean, like, people are going to be tuning in that don't know that the voice they're listening to is from Dratno's. I don't want to make it about me. So I read the words that are on the screen so that people can know what I'm talking about, even if they've just tuned in. What's a Dratno's? Exactly. Hey, Owie. Usually watch your YouTube videos, so it's neat being in here tonight. Yeah, 2i. Glad you like the videos. You had to work all day? Can I recap TGP? Sure. Echo looked good today.
I got blinded!
Oh, I still haven't removed the thing and the sound alert thing. I need to go change the settings on that and add more sounds. That's something I'll do after stream ends tonight. But hey, Billiant. So, okay, yeah, Echo did good. They basically caught up to missed count. I would say they are now...
Hello!
They're now slightly behind missed count. Like half a point or something of equity probably behind missed count. So they caught up a lot because they were a lot further behind than that yesterday. And then it's definitely between Hope and Dratno's guild team right now for third and fourth. Currently they're at the same points. Hope have a minute and a bit, or a minute and 3/4 of time tiebreaker, but it's all going to come down to tomorrow between those two teams. Why did Warcraft want to talk to me today? There was just one of the like trivia segments. I like spotted something that was evidence of one of them being photoshopped to know that it was the wrong icon. And then for some reason they didn't like me doing that. I think it was because they'd, you know, put some work into making those different icons for that segment. Obviously not enough work. Had to toss a primer, TY. Finally caught me live, TY. Thanks for the prime. Linus Tech Tips claims that YouTube Premium video views are mega valuable compared to normal views, but you don't know how that translates to YouTube streams? Yeah, I haven't really looked too much into the YouTube stream monetization side of things. Like, I have it just playing basically on default settings, so I don't know. I don't even know what ad density it's playing or anything like that. I just, you know, have it on as well. I have YouTube streams on as well. I found a plugin that let me stream to both. Ruling to serve hunters. Do I know any streamers who play serve? Not off the top of my head, no. Yeah, I know a lot of people who played it back in Shadowlands Seasons 3 and 4. But I don't know anybody who I've seen playing it recently. It does look really fun on beta. He's talked about their most valuable Google monetized videos being from streams, ignoring sponsors, obviously. Yeah, sponsors are the real big money if you're like a decently sized YouTube channel. Like stuff that you put in the videos rather than the ads that YouTube serves. Hey, Rhino. Dranos probably doesn't even read this chat. That's true. That's very true. You know if Psycho streams anymore? Big Serve Gamer? Is that the same Psycho that played... Oh, Fizzco, you wrote. I was thinking Psycho like the DH for BDG. Maybe you're thinking of a different person. How high do I think Title will get next week? I don't know, like 3650 or something in NA, 3660. Any last minute Glad push? No, I'm not going for Glad. I'm not going for Title this time around. I'm chilling. I'm flying through bronze circles or playing on beta. I will not be... Oh, and then I guess we gotta log in and kill Razageth next week to get our portals for everybody. Okay, Psycho from BDG also plays serve. Okay, cool. then yeah, that's definitely a great resource. Do I expect to see any 22s tomorrow? Yeah, I'd be surprised if there weren't. I would bet there are going to be at least like 4 22s on the scoreboard tomorrow. Not including whatever the dungeon is for tomorrow, just like with the existing dungeons. Yeah, I played a little bit of Serve back in Legion. That was a fun incarnation of Serve. I think I played it on some Gul'dan farm in an alt run. It was a good time. It was good to see me on TGP for the last time before I got fired. Yeah, we had a good run. We had a good run. These things happen. What headset am I using? An Audis Maxwell. They're like $300, so not cheap, but I figured worth because I spend most of my life with my headphones on. Maybe not most of my life, but a lot. Azure and Bracken, plus maybe the new one. Yeah. Yeah, Azure, Bracken. I don't think Algathar with Sanguine, but maybe. Probably not. England or Spain for tomorrow? No idea. I'm not really a soccer fan. English or Spanish? I've seen that type of... Is that a meme of some kind? Future TGP and MDI is going to feel very different without the affix variants. Well, I think MDI will maybe be played at a level with affixes. A TGP will be interesting, though, if they don't do affixes. I kind of think that they should just put the affixes in, even if they're not normally at that key level for TGP. Maybe they shouldn't. Maybe that would be bad. I think it's an iShow's feed meme, but you're too old to understand it. Yeah, I don't get it. I've seen clips from iShow's feed just being in a different country every day. That guy seems like he's got his finger on the pulse of like making good content, but I don't really follow him. Did I actually get fired? No. No. Do I think that plus meta will be more balanced and more within? Well, it's hard to imagine it being less balanced than the last 2 seasons. But I guess it could be. Last 2 seasons have been pretty... Actually, the last 3 seasons. If you count season 4 as a separate season, which I don't think you probably should, but... I guess, you know, they should balance it, so it should get counted. Yeah, the last 3 seasons have been kind of horrifyingly unbalanced. So will War Within be better than that? I mean, it basically can't be worse, right? Yeah, I mean, if there's just one good comp, that'll be the same. You couldn't push as a warrior, never get invited? Yeah, that's been kind of true for... ever. Maybe not forever. It's warrior is one of those specs that's hard to like main M plus on if you're pugging, unless you're tank warrior. Then it's sometimes okay. But you're telling me that it's time to pug, and I have to be playing a DPS warrior. I'm not looking forward to that. That's a lot of declined group invites. Do I think Kajin is healable in 23 if healer runs healer trinkets? I suspect it's heal. I think from watching Zalia do it in the 21. God, maybe not on 23, but maybe on 22. Yeah, I don't think you're going to get that keystone to level 23 anyways, because that would require you to time a 21, a 22. I guess you maybe can. You could maybe time the 22. I don't think you could time the 23 ever. And when I say like you could time the 22, it's like that already is really hard, and I'm not confident about that. I think with Missed Counts route, they generate a bunch of extra time at the start of the dungeon, so I think they have the best shot at that dungeon on 22, but even then, I doubt that will be one of the like best options for them to spend time in tomorrow. How fast do you think the new cutoff is going to be in War Within? You don't think people are going to get above 15s? Well, let's see. Right now, they're doing 21s. I suspect that next season will probably be, like, about the same. Like, up in... Maybe not all the way up there, but I bet War Within Season 1, like, World First Key is, like, 19 or something. People are doing 15s on beta. Yeah, you can't read too much into what the beta numbers are, because there's often, like, a scaling factor or pass or whatever that happens at the very end of beta, right before stuff comes live, but... I don't know. It would be weird for me if they didn't have... Like, it would be surprising if... Like, if 15 was the ceiling, that would mean weekly 10s are nuclear difficulty. Like, if the best team in the world can't do a 16, being able to do a 10 in that environment would be like, you know, doing a 5 in the current environment. Or it would be like doing a 15 in the current environment, which is really hard for a weekly key. Does beta balancing continue up through launch date? Dragonflight was your first expansion? Yeah, in theory it does. And then it also, you know, there will be a tuning pass, like one tuning pass on Heroic Week or something. Historically, whenever there was a Heroic Week, which Dragonflight hasn't had, but when there was a Heroic Week, there would be a tuning pass like on the Friday of Heroic Week that was often pretty substantial. And that would be, then you would see like Liquid and Echo running splits over the weekend, reacting to whatever the tuning pass was on the Friday of Heroic Week. Well, it would be announced on the Friday of Heroic Week, and it would take effect at the start of Mythic Week. That was like a pretty common pattern. Mythic coming out same week, not in War Within. In War Within, Mythic comes out a week after Heroic again, at least for the first tier. Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, the real answer to, like, how often is there going to be tuning is we don't know. Like, there could easily be tuning every week from now to September 15th. Or there could be, like, 2 more weeks where they do tuning and then not much else. Like, that. It's historically, there's been patches and expansions where both of those have kind of, it's been between those two extremes before. Do Delves give champion track gear through the activity, or is it from the vault? I think you can get a limited amount of champion track gear, like, from the end of delve chests and, like, the locked chests in the bountiful delves, which is the tier 8 plus ones. But I don't think you can get unlimited champion track gear from end of run. And then you can get champion or hero track even from vault. Do we know first week of Mythic? Yeah, September 17th is Mythic opens. Is this like restream? No, this is live. This is live. I don't have a shoe to put on my head, but it's live. Do we ever figure out Hope's weird MC cook? Yeah, apparently those things just do a lot of damage, is the main thing that they do, and it just doesn't really show up properly in logs because it's attributed to the environment. Yeah, it is Virtual Arc. It's they're pretty nice. They're comfy. I need to get them sponsored. People keep asking me about them. I need to be getting paid for this advertisement. Hang on. So Heroic Week is September 10th. How will they do M+ that week and loot especially? I'm pretty sure that's an open question. My suspicion is that Mythic Dungeons will be open that week and Mythic Plus won't. That's what I would guess based on the reward levels from those different things. But they haven't confirmed one way or the other what it's going to look like, so who knows? Yeah, the 3-day early access thing it's not going to matter much. Like, if you miss those 3 days, you're not going to be behind in any meaningful way because most of the important stuff doesn't open anyways. Then anyway, nothing important. The only thing you can do usefully is level characters, but unless you're planning to do some high-end stuff that involves having multiple leveled characters, you're not really going to get too much extra utility out of that time. They said the season starts on the 10th, so maybe M+ is open. Yeah, if M+ is open, like, maybe they would cap... The thing is, in the past, when M+ has been open on Heroic Week, they've capped it to, like, +6s. But +6s before are now just +0s. So I wouldn't be surprised if like the season starts, but they just say, oh, Mythic Raid and Mythic Plus are open on the 17th and everything else is open now. I think that would be kind of an easy line for them to draw, so I think that's the most likely, but they could just have M Plus be fully open during Heroic Week, and then you just have full hero track gear on every character that you grind. I don't think that would be like a problem, but it does sound like something they wouldn't like. I would like it, but I feel like that's something Blizzard wouldn't like. Easy for all the Race to World First players to afford early access when they make $137,000 a year. Yeah, yeah, those Race to World First salaries are out of control. Heard it was $169K a year. Yeah, of course, inflation. Will we ever see spec-specific challenges like the Mage Tower again? I don't know. I hope so. Those are cool. If they do that, it ruins the gear power curve even further for high-level Race to World First versus CE guilds. Actually, it does the opposite of that. Because Race to World First guilds will get full hero track gear on every character they care about because they can run splits during that time, whereas the average CE guild can't do that. So if the average CE guild can farm full hero track gear without needing to make 10 alts, then it actually closes that gap. It doesn't open it. But you are right that that is something that people think, but it is wrong. That's one of the arguments against it, which is one of the annoying things because it's the exact opposite to what actually happens. Roger makes billions, source you a random Twitch chatter? Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy that he can make that much and still provide for all the guildies too. Any idea what the one tier below means for Warbound? Yeah, it means if you're doing, as somebody's replied to you, if you're doing any content that gives hero track gear, you get champion Warbound gear sometimes, and all the way down as well. Hey, Misdemeanor. TY. Feel that Echo has lost that dominant edge in TGP and MDI. The competition is just so good. Yeah, I mean, they definitely look like Mandatory Miscount and Echo all look, I would say, on the same tier, but maybe it's generous to put Echo on the same tier right now with Mandatory and Miscount from what we've seen so far. But going into Global Finals, I still wouldn't be comfortable betting against Echo, against either of those teams. Like, I don't know. I think that the history that team has is enough that you just got to keep giving them the benefit of the doubt and just like assume like, okay, even if they've looked like a, 8 out of 10 team or whatever for the past 10 hours of TGP or whatever, like we got to assume that that's an underestimate, not the new normal for them. Yeah, also I do think there's a good chance that even if they are worse this weekend, Global Finals will be a different story because they'll know. I think that's a team that you basically can never show them something in M+ that they can't do, and they'll never like accept being slower in a dungeon or being a key level lower in a dungeon. Like they will figure it out over the time between now and Global Finals. Do you have an optimized Bronze Circle flying route? The one thing I will say is the wall has a lot of double spawn orbs. So I think flying along the wall, like I've been kind of doing figure eights. I don't think this is optimal, but this is kind of a mix of optimal and fun. I've been sort of doing figure eights where I go, up the wall and then around Townlong and Dreadwaste and then down the wall and then over in Kunlai Jade Forest, Krasrang Wilds and then back up the wall, and you get all these orbs on the wall and some of them double proc. What am I saving for? I'm going to buy some more mounts, I think. Once I bought all the mounts, maybe I'll get some of the Mog. I don't even really want any of the mounts I don't have. I just want the number to go up. Must suck to be Roger. He's out here trying to be a chatter and we bully him. Yeah. I know that feel. Dude, I've been tempted to like make an alt Twitch account that nobody knows about just so I can chat without people knowing it's me. Because, like, I like, you know, dumb memes and stuff, and, like, you know, posting garbage in chats. Not mean or anything, but just, like, you know, dumb jokes or whatever, and then, I don't know. Like, you see it next to, even if people don't actually know who I am, you see the Twitch partner badge next to the name, and, like, people react differently. So I might go undercover. Did I get fired from broadcast today? Yeah, but it didn't stick. I'll be back tomorrow, don't worry. I got fired at most productions I participate in, at least once. Around the world, there are production teams that I've worked with, and all of them hate me. It's unavoidable. There's just no counterplay. I feed on people doubting our boys each season, then they crush it in the end. We don't need to think about last MDI, yeah. Even last MDI, like, Echo looked really good in the final series. It was just mandatory were a bit better, but Echo looked super sick, even in those keys. There's like one Black Rick hold incident away from victory. What's my shortlist for tank to play first tier of next expansion? My current thinking is we want at least one Blood DK. But I think that'll be Snap that plays that, not me, probably. Because he's been playing Blood DK during beta testing. And I got to play Blood DK last year that we played it. So I think he should get a turn on it. You know, because it's the most fun. So I don't know. I'm kind of thinking, like, maybe we're going to want to play a Bear, because maybe all the other Druid specs suck. Maybe we're going to play DH because, you know, Havoc sucks. I don't know. It's going to be some raid buff that I fill probably if we do that. Could be Brewmaster, although I feel like Windwalker looks pretty good. This missed count team is so cracked out of their minds. Yeah. Yeah, you could tell when they were like two-chesting all those 19s that team was different. Heard DK is good enough you could conceivably run two? Yeah. Yeah, the problem with running two Blood DKs is just that you're down a raid buff. The PoE snap? No, different snap. Happy for Thanner for his team doing so good. It's a big problem for us having half the raid team and all kinds of TGP teams. Yeah. How many total Echo Raiders are there among the top 12 teams in TGP? It's got to be like 11 or something. More like 15? Jesus. That's a lot of people. It's like every single healer as well, right? Like every Echo healer finds their way onto MDI or TGP teams. Thanks, Bang Bang Baby 69. Nice raid name. Yeah, Ryson is John Travolta meme looking for his mates. Yeah, dude, Ryson should, teams should try and poach him to do, like, analyst, you know, 6th player role for MDI. That would be big. I guess the problem is just that wouldn't be fun for him. Must say it's nice to see Ellesmere competing, yeah. Yeah, Ellesmere, I think that, like, I hope they continue to play together, Ellesmere and Dorky, because I feel like that combo is, you know, I think they have a high potential, and also I just think it's good for Ellesmere to, you know, play in a bit of a different environment than the team he played with for so many years. I think it's, you know, a growth opportunity. You miss Dorky and Growl playing together? Yeah, Dorky and Growl playing together is a vibe. Although I feel like you can't, like, Growl is in his element co-streaming and, like, commentating and stuff. You know, podcasting, yapping. That is, and streaming. If Growl was doing TGP again and just couldn't stream for a month, I feel like that would be, I feel like society would have lost something. Wonder why Max hasn't done any watch parties this TGP? He briefly did one yesterday, but then Terraceland called, and I think tomorrow he's got a Terraceland thing as well, so I think that's the main reason for this weekend, and then last weekend he was out of town. I bet we'll see him watch partying the global finals, unless there's another Terraceland thing. Growl is a man of the people now. He can't do 1% things anymore. Right, that's right. Feel like it wasn't talked about enough how Mess Count just embarrassed Echo by one-shotting the 21 as Echo did the safe 20. Not just Echo as well. Like, if you compare to last weekend, Mandatory, you know, did the 20 in there too. They did a lot of that, the safe play, do the 20. Yeah, I agree. It's huge that Mess Count were just, you know, you just go in, do the highest level key, one-shot it, Giga Chad. Terraslin's kind of litty. Wish our guys wanted to slam more, but was a bit misinformed about the game and how hardcore we could go. Yeah, it seems like the Liquid team is really like, they got like 12 people that are, you know, gaming. I wonder, I guess that there's not too much risk of like burning out before War Within because there's still enough time. Is it Tar Island or Terraceland? I've never heard, Max has pronounced it both ways, but that's just because he, I don't know. If anything, you could probably rule out any pronunciation Max does from being one of the right ones. Oh, right, YouTube chat. Yeah, I'm reading YouTube chat now as well. What's my estimate on catch-up mechanics and timelines in Season 1 War Within? Bullions, Catalyst, or tier set tokens? I think that there's going to be the same Omni token deal as currently. So Keystone Master, AOTC would get you an Omni token, either one of them. And there will be a Catalyst from week 1, probably with the one charge every 2 weeks instead of every 1 week again. And no Bullions. I don't think all that's confirmed, but I'd be pretty confident that that's going to be what War Within Season 1 will look like. Honestly, I think Growl's shift to more comedic self-deprecation has been a lot of fun. The opposite of a pro player persona. Yeah, Growl's always kind of had that. He's always had a instinct to self-deprecate. I feel like self-deprecating humor is, you know, you gotta be careful to not overdo it or like, you know, make it kind of clear that you don't actually believe mean things you're saying about yourself. But it can be so funny when done right, which he does. Is it Tri-Heroic Gear is now going to be 12 levels below Mythic Gear? True. Yeah, okay. Yes. Myth Track, at least on the beta build that is out right now, the Myth Track goes up 6 instead of 4 slots. So that's an extra 6 eye levels that Myth Track Gear goes. Now, will that matter early on in the patch? No, because you won't have enough Aspect Crest to full upgrade everything anyways. But later on in the patch, yeah, Myth Track Gear is now 6 eye levels better than Hero Track Gear. 6 eye levels even more better. I feel like there's a more correct way to construct that sentence, but instead of being 6 or 7 eye levels better, it's going to be 13 eye levels better than Hero Track Gear, yeah. He always infers that everyone hates him in a joking way. No, that's true. Everybody hates Growl. We only ever have him on the podcast because you guys would riot if we didn't from time to time, but you know, he's a menace. Yeah. Growl has always been him. I started watching him because of your Push Week stream back in BFA. Oh, I'm glad to hear that stream helped you find the streamer you like. What do I think will be the next legendary weapon? I hope it's a healer weapon, because I do not want to craft it. I do not want any more legendary. The Fire Act one was enough. No more, please. It's so annoying. Healer? Yeah, exactly. Like make another one, like a int mace or something. Something that I do not have to craft, because it's so annoying the way the legendaries work right now, where you're just like, you suck until you get it. You get it 3 months into the patch, and then when you get it, it's like, hey, you want to spend the next week doing super blooms? No, thank you. How come my stream doesn't show up in the WoW section on YouTube? Ooh, probably because I forgot to put the game as World of Warcraft. Let me fix that. Yeah, you have to set your game every time on YouTube, which I forgot to do today. Bang. Fixed. You really got into WoW from playing casually because of episode 50 Titan Forge podcast with Growl? Wow. That's really cool to hear. There are game sections on YouTube, apparently. Apparently. The Fire Arc one pissed me off so much I got it towards the end of Season 3. Yeah, me too. I got it... I think I got... Actually, I can check. Fearlath. I got it on February 25th. And we killed Fire before Christmas. So... that was like 3 months after we killed Fire. Yeah, I mean, I think legendaries are cool, but just the current way that they work is not it. I feel like whenever we kill Xalatath, we'll get a legendary dagger. That would make sense. That would make a lot of sense. An int dagger. Do I ever feel guilty for being so darn likable? Spent years doing stuff with Tuttles, who's a fine guy, but it's always an unfavorable comparison, so people meme on him. I don't think that's an accurate assessment of the dynamic. Just anybody that I'm ever next to gets hate for not being me. I mean, my ego loves hearing that, but I don't think that's a thing. Dorky playing beta right now, secret TGP strat. Well, you can't practice during the time between TGP days, so there's kind of not really anything to do except for beta. I mean, I guess you could do live keys. The most important thing is just to sleep. Get like 9 hours if you can. Yeah, I mean, you can practice on live, but live keys, I mean, they have limited transfer value to Tournament Realm keys. Like, you don't have every item you want. You do have avoidance and stuff. You can take it off, I guess. Maybe not even everybody has a geared character of whatever they play on TR. Yeah, it's tough. Do I think TGP would be better if they only opened up the Tournament Realm for 5 to 8 hours a day? Which 5 to 8 hours? Because I don't think that you can find a 5 to 8 hours that wouldn't just screw some teams. What if it was locked to your account? Yeah, people talk about doing like account login time restrictions, but the problem with that is that Echo are still gonna, like, you're just not gonna be logged in, right? You're gonna do much more stuff on live, and it's gonna be about, like, sitting in MDT, you know, planning stuff more, using your TR time. Also, there'd be some pretty big incentives to cheat that by, like, having second accounts and signing up as a second team, because there are, like, hundreds of teams that do sign up each time. But even if you could say, like, okay, we're gonna IP detect that, like, we're gonna detect the cheaters. I don't know. I feel like you would still be able to get value out of having like 12 hours a day of working on it instead of 5. It would be a smaller advantage, but the experience of being one of those teams would be much less fun, I think. Like practicing with a time limit of how long you'd be logged into TR. Because like the best way to practice would be, I think it'd be icky. People talk about that for other games as well, like Path of Exile races. Gets discussed too. What do you think about them bringing an old dungeon into finals? Like Sanguine Depths, and see how the teams do? It's been done in the past. Like throwing a curveball into TGP. But I think usually it's been told to the teams beforehand. Was like, hey, you know, there are going to be Legion dungeons in this season of TGP or whatever. I think they did that whenever they added Legion Time Walking M+. I feel like doing that without telling the players in advance that at least it was an option that could happen would be, like, pretty cursed. Hey, Tool Compson. You know I love PoE, even blasting Last Epoch. Have I played it? Yeah, I tried to play a little bit of Last Epoch this cycle. God, the campaign is just so boring, though. I gave up halfway through. I can't do it. It's too, it's just too boring. It didn't even feel like there was, like, a league mechanic or a cycle mechanic or whatever going on. Yeah. I don't know, it's unfortunate. I feel like that game is close, but they have some difficulty curve things going wrong where just, like, I don't know, the campaign just feels so easy but boring. League mechanic's actually pretty good. Yeah, it seemed kind of interesting, but it doesn't seem like it spawns very often. Maybe I just got unlucky, but like in PoE, when there's a Path of Exile league, you get the league mechanic like shoved down your throat, right? Like you get the league mechanic in every map, in every zone, multiple times per zone, something like that. And, like, you know it's there. I feel like Last Epoch have gone too far in the other direction, because, like, I swear you could play for 30 minutes and not find a single of one of those Nemesis or whatever. You can just start doing rifts at level 15? Oh, I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know you could... I thought you had to do the campaign to get all your, like, skill points and idle slots and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. It's a game that I want to like. It's a game I wanted to, you know, play it somewhat this cycle, but I do that thing where you open up Steam and you just, like, are hovering over the play button and you're like, I don't want to click this. Which, I don't know, yeah. Maybe next cycle. Maybe next cycle. Grim Dawn, Chads, Rise Up. Ooh, that's another game I haven't successfully gotten into, but that'd be cool. I don't know. I feel like Path of Exile and D4 for me actually really scratched an itch that I didn't think it could this last season. Yeah, flying around Pandaria is easy. Flying around Pandaria is nice. This is fun. D4 is actually good. It is. It's actually good. I don't know what to tell you. It surprised me too, how much fun I had this season. I leveled 3 characters to level 100. I like masterworked 12 out of 12, my Necromancer, and did all the Ubers and stuff. That was really fun. I think I probably got like triple-digit hours out of this D4 season. That was maybe even high triple-digit hours. Which is unheard of for me for any ARPG except for Path of Exile. TLDR, you can level through Rifts starting at 15. They're endgame dungeons that'll catch you up your missed skill points and idle points. Ooh. I didn't know that was an option. I saw the icons on the map, actually, for the alternate leveling path, so maybe I'll do that then, yeah, and not have to do the whole campaign. Vampire Survivors and Deep Rock Galactic both own if you just need a time fill game. I do want to try out the Deep Rock Galactic Survivors game, yeah. Yeah, I should give that a go. I've been playing Balatro as my kind of like, oh, I have 30 minutes game. Hi, Dratnos. You've probably already done this. You missed TGP. Can I give the TLDR? Yeah. Echo and Mist Count are looking like 1 and 2. And we're going into tomorrow with Hope and Dratnos Guild team pretty much tied for 3 and 4. So it's all to play for tomorrow. They're equal points, little time tiebreaker difference. Should be good. Should be really fun. I reckon it's fair to say if you wanted to take a stab at picking a new DPS to main for War Within, it's likely to have one spec be meta, that nothing comes close to Mage. Yeah, I think Mage is a really safe option. You know, if the numbers that Mage does are bad, which can happen, there will be more Mage players than there are Mage spots for stuff. But that's a hard thing for it to happen, given that they have, 3 DPS specs. To a lesser extent, obviously 6 hero talent spec combos, but mostly just 3 DPS specs. Good raid buff, good utility. But there have been tiers where mages kind of sucked and, guilds played exactly one and there were more than one mage per guild. IMO Mandatory looks like the strongest team. Mandatory did look really good last weekend. I feel like Mist Count have looked more confident. Like, Mist Count have just slammed the 21s and not bothered with the 20s. And that's been really impressive from them so far. I guess Mist Count 21 Halls of Infusion has been a little bit of a disaster. What's the PoE cook? Oh, I have no idea. I'm going to play SSF this league because I'm going to be out of town for, like, league start weekend, so nice little SSF league. Yeah, the 21 Ruby one shot was, that's something that I don't know if any other teams could replicate that. Like Mandatory didn't. They tried it, and then they went into the 20 instead last weekend. Different affixes, though. Worse affixes, I would say. They're cheating. They've got 2 healers with Thanner on Og. That's fair. How much does Race to World First casting impact my guild? Do I just try to set my casting schedule around raid times? Yeah, if I'm casting, like, both Echo and, at the time, Complexity would work around my raid schedule. So I don't get... I've never been, like, scheduled to cast during raid time for me. It's very easy to do that whenever I'm casting for Echo because it's middle of the night there. Although then, we kind of got to make sure that the sleep schedule still works out. Because I'm sleeping in the middle of the day, but that's always it's always feasible, right? It's especially because there are always people that don't have as restrictive schedules. The main thing that's impacted my guild has been like if I have a day where I'm flying back, sometimes that can be that can grief a raid day. That's happened a few times in the last few tiers. Really looking forward to seeing Mandatory against Mist Count and Echo next week. Yeah, I think that will be like the clear... At least that seems to be the clear top tier going into Global Finals, although, sometimes teams go up and down in skill between their group weekends and the Globies. Mage wasn't in the world first kill of Lords of Dread. Ever since then, mages have rallied to make sure they're never shunned again. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty hard to not play a mage given Arcane Intellect's existence. Like, you need to do something like Lords of Dread where you just play no casters, no ranged, 30 survival hunters. There were 2 mages on Jailer that tier? That sounds right, yeah. Mage was really good on Jailer until they fixed the Mirrors of Torment thing. It was the best class for Method. Last TGP Echo looked shaky for most of their cup, then the Global Finals were their most dominant performance. Yeah. I mean, they've done that a few times in MDIs and TGPs. But this time they're actually coming off an MDI loss, not win, so... there is evidence for their vulnerability this time that, maybe hasn't been true in the past. Dude, I've been on a tear today. Look at this. 8,000 bronze per hour for over nearly an hour now. I've sustained this. That's good. They said it couldn't be done. Flying through bronze circle hack. Age showing for Echo team. That's true. The Echo team has, the other teams keep getting younger, but the Echo team stays the same age. Do you think they'll disband if they lose? No, I don't think they'll disband if they get like a close second or something. Like, I don't think they would disband even off of a worse result. Like, the reason that the Echo, MDI, or TGP team would disband would be if they didn't want to play anymore. I guess if they lost, that chance of that would be going up, but I don't know. I think what's more likely is that like one or two of them would quit and the others would refocus their efforts and get some new guildies in, and then they would win the next MDI. Yeah, exactly. There are a bunch of other MDI and TGP teams that are, you know, that currently have Echo Raiders in them that could be Echo Academy, you know, recruitment grounds. Now we'll have to find a new job to supplement or to substitute his YouTube income. Yeah, I hope he can get his channel back. That seems like something that should be possible. I love you, Dratnos. Your casting is great. Thank you. Thank you. Echo isn't any worse than they've ever been. The competition's just finally catching up. I think they do. I think there have been tournaments in the past where they would have, like, their relative power level was higher than this. Like, you see, for instance, you saw Mist Count go in and one-shot a 21 Ruby and Echo go in and do the 20 instead. Like, that, there have been a lot of MDIs and TGPs in the past where you could never imagine another team doing that to Echo. It's Echo doing that to other teams in the past. So I do think it's fair to say that, like, not just the competition has gotten better, but Echo this isn't like the GOAT version of Echo. This is Echo at like 85% of their best or something. I wouldn't describe it as not caring. I would say it's just like, I don't know, just at least what we've seen so far this weekend, it doesn't seem like they are firing on all cylinders. It just seems like they're, you know, extremely, extremely good, but not like there have been several MDIs or TGPs where just like, oh, Echo are the best team by far. Nobody else is even close. Difference in TGP, teams play a lot of live keys. Echo doesn't. There have been seasons where they do, but yeah, usually it's more a case of like Echo show up and they play 2 weeks and then they're rank 1 on IO and then they aren't a team that plays like week in, week out on live. But there have been seasons where that hasn't mattered and they've still dominated TGP. It's a bit Frost Mage diff, though. Felt like DPS was better mostly because of miscounts Mage. I think that's accurate in the Ruby, yeah. I don't know if Frost is actually better in the other keys. I feel like it's just Hearthjacks. Like, that guy is just really sick at Frost especially. Halls as well. Yeah, I guess especially with the miscount pathing, that favors Frost Mage pretty nicely. Like, the way that they do that mini-boss pull is a really nice setup for Frost Mage that other teams aren't doing there. Frost is not better in any key. Rip bozos. I guess we'll probably get to see this disagreement litigated next weekend. Stay small, hopeful. Only on number 1 MDI team. Stay small. That's right. Is there an add-on for the orbs? They seem a bit random. All their spawns are fixed. But is there an add-on for it? Maybe. I've just downloaded the spawn spots. For instance, on this island, there's like one here. Ooh, there's one that could be here. Okay, my ping is just landing on myself. But there's one that could be right where I just flew through, but it's not there. Yeah, there's one over here. There's one on top of this building. Basically, all the buildings on this little island, there's one on top of all of them, such as this one here. And then over on this little building, one on top of it here. Now here we have like a little loop move that we do here. There could be one on that statue, but it's not up this time. There could be one over these trees, but it's not up. There's one up on top of this tree, and then there's another one off to the edge of the pirate ship over here. Yeah, look at this. And then just down, there's that pirate ship one. I've got the entire Pandaria map downloaded into my brain. Every single orb spawn location is I'm calculating the trajectory. If there isn't one somewhere, then I'm analyzing and I'm estimating what path the person who took it probably took so that I can then avoid the other ones that they've stolen. It's a complicated algorithm. That's how you can earn almost 9,000 bronze per hour from doing this, though. You have to... That's efficiency. If you're just doing this naively, you're only going to get like 6,000 bronze per hour. How many hours have I spent flying here? You know, about 50 or something. Somebody else is yoinking those. Damn it. That's one of the most lucrative spots there, is that ring of them up there. Can I check playtime? Yeah, I have 1 day and 6 hours played at max level on this character, of which I think almost all of it has been flying through bronze orbs. So yeah, I guess I probably only spent like 25 hours flying through bronze orbs. That's good. Are people still raiding and doing stuff on remakes? I think so, but not me. I don't want to. I just want to fly through bronze circles. Only? Yeah, it's rookie numbers. I gotta pump these numbers up. There's still a month before War Within. There's so many bronze circles to fly through. Do I still do daily quests for scenarios, dungeons, and raids? Nope. I log in, click start streaming, read Twitch chat, read YouTube chat, fly through bronze orbs. The read YouTube chat I sometimes forget as well. Let's see, is there anything good on YouTube chat right now? Let's take a look. Does Havoc look alright on beta right now? I think alright is maybe a little generous. It definitely doesn't seem like... First of all, the numbers for the current beta build aren't super important, but it doesn't seem super sick on that front. That can easily change. The playstyle also doesn't seem great. Like, they are losing a really good set bonus. They're kind of not really getting anything new, and both of their hero talent trees seem kind of beans in terms of, like, gameplay. Is it just me, or is Season Discovery fully overshadowed? Didn't even know it was going on? Yeah, I didn't realize that Season 4 had started until... Or Phase 4 or whatever had started until... Like, randomly, I just saw streamers were playing it, but... I don't know, it seems like that phase has the potential to be more hype than 2 and 3 as well, because it's max level, right? Like... I don't know. I feel like, obviously, Phase 1 was a big deal. That captured a lot of initial excitement. But I think Phase 4 was the next biggest deal. I think Phases 2 and 3 were... like, those were lulls. They maybe could have combined those or something and done them faster, done more accelerated. Phase 1 was too long, yeah, but Phase 1, at least the first week, was, like, really hype. But yeah, maybe I guess people kind of maxed out at that and then did a couple Black Fathom Deeps or whatever and we're done. I do think that changing the raid size was a blunder. That doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, and I do think that this Phase 4 wasn't promoted enough, or wasn't... I mean, maybe it was promoted, maybe just none of us heard about it, because everybody kind of checked out of Season Discovery news after Phase 2 and 3. Nah, it wasn't? Yeah. That seems like a shame, because I do think that Classic is mostly about level 1 through 10, maybe 1 through 20, and then level 60, right? Like, that is most of Classic. Obviously, there's, like, some amount of nostalgia people have for, you know, Maradon or whatever, like, leveling, but I think most of it is starting zones and Molten Core, like, and Mixia, right? That kind of stuff. Like, those are the big spikes of Classic in people's memory. And so Phase 4 is going to be the one that has the Molten Core and stuff. Shimmering Flats. Oh, yeah, Shimmering Flats. So there were, like, obviously there's the Barrens, Hillsbrad Foothills, Shimmering Flats. I guess those are, to me, are the main leveling zones that stand out in my memory. Obviously for Alliance players, it's like Westfall. Oh, yeah, Stranglethorn Vale. I meant to say Stranglethorn Vale as well. That is definitely in there. What's my favorite candy bar? I'm not a big candy bar... like, enjoyer. But if I had to pick one, it's probably the, like, you know, the Hershey's Cookies and Cream candy bars? Those would probably be my favorite. But usually I would choose, like, ice cream, frozen yogurt, milkshakes, like that genre of food. What's my favorite cut of steak? I don't need enough steak to have a favorite cut of it. Thick shakes go hard. Dude, the last milkshake I had was it was like a frozen yogurt milkshake that I didn't expect to be as good as it was, but it was real good. Cake shake? Oh, I think I've seen that on YouTube or something where they just they like make the shake and then they stick a slice of cake in it. God, I love this country. Incredible. What do I use ketchup on if you don't eat steak? I don't put ketchup on steak. I don't put ketchup on steak. Miles, inches, cups, exactly. There's nothing like some just really aggressively American food, like just some abomination that the European mind cannot comprehend. Like the caloric density that we can fit in one of those milkshake cups. Whew. That's how you get to the moon, baby. Midwest State Fair food type stuff? Yeah, exactly. Deep fry it again. Give it the old double fry. Never feel more American than spending $10 for a fried Twinkie. Yeah, apparently the Brits are also kind of big on the deep fried meta. Donut burger, 2 glazed donuts with a burger patty. Ooh. Constructing that taste profile in my head feels weird. Like, that seems like it would be weird. I see him make you deep fry the oil you're going to use to deep fry something else. Yeah. Deep fried Mars bars. Yeah, that's a very like... That's like a Scotland thing even, right? Or is that a UK-wide thing? Fried Oreo? Deep fried kimchi? Ooh. Can we change subjects before you catch diabetes just listening to this? I don't know. Talking about food is fun. In Denmark, we had the pizza burger at some point. Oh, yeah, sometimes... Dude, I think it's like Japan that some of the stuff that, like, KFC and Pizza Hut come up with and only release in Japan for some reason is just diabolical. Ooh, I have a quest to turn in over here. Hang on, this could be some bonus bronze. It is. Oh, wow. 71 bronze. That's like 3.5 bronze orbs. That's big. You have them in New Zealand at fish and chip shops? Hmm. Who's going home tomorrow? Yeah. If they play like they did today, it'll be Dratno's guild team. And Hope play like they did today, because Hope definitely played better today. But if they play like they did on Friday, it'll be Hope. So we'll see which teams show up. It's definitely going to be very close either way. I raided with a bunch of Aussies. They've informed me McDonald's have a breakfast sandwich called the Big Brekkie. You have absolutely zero idea why we do not have that here. What are the components of a Big Brekkie? Tank I've enjoyed the most on beta. I played a lot of Prot Warrior and really enjoyed it. You've been a Blood Decay fan? Oh yeah, I haven't played much Blood Decay, but my co-tank has, and I think he's been really liking it. Blood Decay looks like it's going to be really good and fun. Big Brekkie burger is so good. It's a burger? Just Google it? All right. And if I Google it, my bronze per hour is going to go down. Actually, let me see if I can... Okay, Big Brekkie burger. So it's just like hash brown, egg, burger patty, cheese. Bacon too as well. Ooh. That does sound... That shocks me that we don't have that actually in America, because I feel like people would eat that up here, as it were. Age Priest has been my favorite spec in Season 4 of Dragonflight, but on beta, I can't really put my finger on it. but I've been considering benching it in favor of almost any other healer. Yeah, I feel like the Archon stuff is kind of cool with the Halos, but for me, if I was playing healer next expansion, I'd want to be playing Resto Shaman. I've always had a soft spot for Resto Shaman. It looks like it's going to be pretty good next expansion. Both the hero talent trees also look pretty fun to me. Obviously, pending tuning. Totemic, I think, will be really good as well. In Germany, we sometimes have a burger at McDonald's. Hang on, let me just... This is a high-intensity micro moment. I gotta make sure that I get all of these. Okay. In Germany, we sometimes have a burger at McDonald's called the Big Roasty. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Which absolutely rules. Okay, let's Google this thing. Oh, apparently they have this in Austria as well, which I guess is adjacent there. Ooh, that does look... Is this like a Asiago bagel burger? Ooh. That does seem good. Totemic Shaman looks great. Yeah, Totemic Resto looks really fun to me. Is it 22:18 here? Yes. Yeah, although here we call it 10:18 p.m. But yeah. What am I farming for? Just some extra mounts, just to make my mount number go up. Germany is such a beautiful country. Need to travel back there again sometime? Yeah, I've been to Germany twice. I want to say. Yeah. I've been to Berlin and Hamburg. I would definitely go back there. That is a cool country. It's one of those EU countries where everybody speaks English as well. In the cities, at least. Which is kind of cool. Yeah. Yeah, I've been to, let's see. I've been to Ireland, the UK, the Netherlands, Belgium, France, Germany, Sweden. I've flown through Denmark, but not, I've been to Copenhagen en route to Sweden, but not actually been to Denmark, really. So yeah, I would like to go to Denmark, Norway. Oh, I've been to Austria as well. Yeah, I've been to Austria. I spent a little bit of time in Vienna. I haven't been to Italy, no. I haven't been to Italy or Spain or Portugal. All those places seem cool. Ireland rules. Dublin is a C-tier city. Oh, I've only been to Dublin, yeah. Poland gang? Oh yeah. Go to Poland, that's where the Witcher comes from. And more importantly, Gwent, the Witcher card game. If you want to get away from people in general, come to Finland and go hiking. Ooh. Mist count as full Polish squad? I heard that, yeah. That's cool. Vecchio in Sweden? Yeah. Yeah, I've been to Vecchio. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but that's how I heard them say it. I've been there twice for Aberrus and Emir Jasil races. It kind of doesn't really count if I've just been there for a race, though, because, like, I haven't really seen anything except for the inside of the Race to World First warehouse, you know, the hotel, and then the walking route between those two locations, which I've seen a lot of. I'm half British. I'm actually, like, full British. You think it's Vecchio? Vecchio? Yeah, something like that. Do I have Race to World First booked? Yeah, chat will never know. Chat never, you guys never get to know these things until somebody tweets something. I never get to just spoil those randomly on stream. More of another country than most Americans ever see? Yeah, but well, America is like big enough that you can adventure around America and get like 30 different countries worth of cultures. I guess in some ways In some ways, it's not like that, but in a lot of ways, it is. Like you go between Louisiana and Montana, California, New York, Florida. Like you're getting very different places. Yeah, like in 2 weeks' time, I'm going to the airport and taking a 1-hour flight, and I'm not leaving my state. I'm staying within California. That's that flight could take you between like half of Europe. That's a very large country we have over here. Yeah. Like if I wanted to drive, it would be an 8 or 9 hour drive. Used to commute 2.5 hours to work. God, that sounds miserable. I've driven from like the Bay Area, the San Francisco Bay Area. I've driven all the way down to San Diego before, and I've driven all the way up to Portland before. And like that entire line is probably a 16-hour drive or something. It's pronounced Vexu. Okay, TY. Well, the amount of time it takes to drive across California is different. It depends on if there's traffic or not. Like if you're trying to get into LA and there's traffic, it's over. The bait is real. That's right. Is the stream quality kind of rough over here? I hope not. I've heard some people say that about the YouTube stream and other people not. It might be something I'm doing. TBH, I'm probably not going to fix it, because I think soon Stream Elements is going to come out with a stream to YouTube plugin, and I'm just going to kind of hope that fixes it. Because right now I'm using like a random OBS plugin I found, but that's probably the source of problems if there are them. Yeah, I think it might just depend. Like you might just have... I think some people just get worse quality on YouTube and some people get better. Europe is 15 times the size of Texas. I think you probably meant 1.5 times the size of Texas, probably. If I had to guess. Or 1,5 as the Europeans like to type. How do I know where the things are that I'm hitting? I know most of the spawn locations at this point. Like, there's one on top of this building sometimes, one on top of this tree branch, one over on this side of the tree branch. Yeah, I don't know. They're usually in kind of predictable spots, which is like above landmarks or midpoints of terrain. But I also just have I've flown around. I've probably flown through all these orbs like 30 times each now or something. I got muscle memory now for flying through them. It's 14.6 times the size of Texas. Yeah, but that's including like all of that land up in, Finland and the Balkans or whatever. Like, we're just talking about like the middle bit of Europe that everybody always is talking, like Germany, France, or whatever. Like, I'm pretty sure you could put Texas over Germany and France, right? Yeah, exactly. Like I obviously like all the like the Iberian Peninsula, the Balkans, Eastern Europe all count as well. But like most European countries are smaller than Texas. Yeah, not that there's a lot going on in much of Texas, right? Like a lot of empty ranch land there for sure. Texas, if it was a country, is the 39th biggest in the world. How big is it? Is America third? Or what, behind China and Russia? Russia's got to be the biggest, right? Like, yeah, okay. And then I know China's like slightly bigger, right? Despite our best efforts to draw a map where that's not true, I think it is true, right? We gotta come up with a new projection or something. That was always the meta. That's the European way of solving things, right? Is you come up with a new projection of a map where your country is bigger than the rest of the world, even though it's not actually. Canada is bigger, China is smaller. Ooh, interesting. Did you know apparently most of Canada lives south? Like most Canadians live south of the northernmost point of the contiguous United States. Like not just Alaska, but the 48 mainland states. Wait, really? Yeah. Yeah, because like Toronto and all that are south of like Maine and stuff. Yeah, but it's like, that's like 2% of their land area and 60% of their population or something. EU, Dorky says EU greater than NA. Ooh, a big betrayal coming out from Dorky. Is that the topic? There's not really a topic. We try not to have topics on this stream. We try and have our train of thought be off the rails. You never had an original thought in your life? Welcome aboard. Am I going to play Max in ping pong? I have a feeling that Max would defeat me easily at ping pong. I'm not particularly good at that sort of stuff. Actually, maybe I'd be okay at ping pong. I don't know. It depends on his experience level at it. If we both are newbies at it, I feel like he's more of like a, you know, like natural athlete probably than me. I think 99.9% of the population are more of a natural athlete than me. Oh, is it a bit in his stream, ping pong? What's the lore? Is table tennis not ping pong? Oh, I see. If he challenged me in pull-ups, I don't know. I can do 8 pull-ups now, which I feel like is not actually all that. Like that guy plays like hockey and he's been going gym and stuff. I bet he could do more. He's had a guy in his chat for years challenging him to ping pong. Oh, I see. Men grew beards in the past to cushion hits. People with a shaven face had a higher chance to break the skin than if they have a beard. Interesting. Interesting. This chatter has half a decade of making his whole identity just calling Max a coward for not accepting his ping pong challenge. Oh, wow. That's really good. Imagine that was just my alt account. You're not supposed to have beards in boxing unless you both do? Interesting. People grew beards in the past because before modern times, shaving was a huge pain. Yeah, I mean, it's just like... It's the default, right? Like, if you don't take any action, you're going to grow a beard. Pull-ups are fake numerically. You weigh 110, can do like 20, even though you can't lift at all. It's just body weight diff. That's fair. That's fair. Also, I've been trying to improve my form at them, but it's definitely still not... Like, I've improved my range of motion, but I still catch myself, like, kicking my legs forward, which you're not supposed to do. But yeah, I am, you know, still lifting a decent amount of weight if I have to do a pull-up. Shaving showed you were rich. Same with being fat. Showed you could afford large amounts of food. Interesting. What are you trying to link, Dorky? This image owns? Okay, hang on. Let me see if I can... Yeah, let me see if I can click that. I can't even click the hyperlink, man. I gotta copy-paste this like it's 2007. What we got here? A bear doing a pull-up. Love it. Fenceless, thanks for the 51 months. 51 months, Pog. Also, fun fact, during the reign of Peter the Great, he banned beards, which had been a cultural icon of Russian nobility for hundreds of years. If you wanted to keep it, you'd have to pay a tax. Source, an imperial Russian historian. That is
I
cool.
gotta find it.
Did those just come off CD? It's a video? It's actually a real bear? Oh, wow. Show this video? Okay. Bear uses balcony personal gym. Okay. Oh, wow. No, that's cheating, though, because its legs are forward. You're not supposed to do that. That's cheating. Yeah, you're not, that's, that one doesn't count. That one doesn't count. Bro is jacked. That's a big bear. Do you know how heavy a bear is? Let the man cheat. That's fair. That is fair. I actually didn't know bears had that kind of, like, back strength. And forearms as well, right? Like, from that position. Oh, man. Have I seen a bear versus a moose? No. I'm not sure I want to know who wins that as well, because those sorts of hypotheticals, my guild, when we're, you know, when we're in the middle of Prague, we like to throw out those sorts of hypotheticals and then yell about them. Can I fix this channel's moderation settings, please? What are you trying to type? Here, let me. I think if I VIP you can type stuff. You can link stuff. Wait, actually, I think you can. I think everybody can just post links in this channel. I'm pretty sure I just have those on. Yeah, look. Although you're a subscriber, I know you can have settings be different for subs and stuff too. Might be just be a Twitch length thing. Could be. Doing that with no thumbs, that's true. Janus is the type of streamer all the other streamers watch. Do you think I should start branding myself your favorite streamer's favorite streamer? Can I recommend a DPS for War Within that has only one DPS spec? Like Paladin, Monk, Druid? How about Shadow Priest? Yeah, I'm gonna go with Shadow Priest. Although Windwalker also looks like it's gonna be really fun. Yeah? Oh, Rep Pally's a good choice too, yeah. That is a very fun spec. Shaman, yeah, Shaman has two, but I guess it's melee and range, so they're different. Or they're, you know, different categories, sort of. In my next raid prog, I should shout yes chef every call out. Well, I do like maybe not half, I do like 20% of the call outs. But yeah, I could throw a few yes chefs at the other ones. Your message was not posted due to conflicts with this channel's moderation settings. Huh. Maybe I have some stuff on stricter than I should. Are you trying to post hate speech or what? Maybe it's not the settings that are wrong. Yeah, I think I have mostly just Twitch defaults on these things. Maybe the defaults are too aggro. I know that whenever people type WOG for a while, it would get like auto-detected. Because apparently there's some... I couldn't even find what it was, like what the bad thing WOG could mean was, but... whenever I play Paladin, I see all the like auto mod catching that until I allow it for the day. Fenceless, thanks for the gift sub to Growl. It's an Australian slur? Interesting. I see. Still doesn't work, even with the sub. Okay, let me see. Let me try and fix my channel's moderation settings. Content. Settings. Moderation. My overall safety rating is already in. Twitch is already mad at me. It's already got. I've already got a red thing that's like, your channel's not safe. Where would I fix this? Auto mod rule sets. Okay, let me try turning some of these filters off. Maybe something's being caught that shouldn't be. Okay, I changed the settings. Try it now. Although, if it's auto mod, the setting... Hang on, it wouldn't make sense for it to be auto mod, because auto mod, I still see it before it comes out, right? So... It wouldn't make sense for it to be auto mod, actually. It would be some other setting. Blocked terms and phrases. Are you trying to say that you're selling a Twitch ViewBot program? Because I have that banned as a phrase. And then I have a bunch of slurs banned. Huh. What slurs are banned? Nice try. New record for how long a streamer gets CC'd by one guy? Yeah, I don't know. I've looked through everything. I can't find what's being detected. DM me whatever you're trying to type, and then could see if I can figure out why. Twitch might auto-filter HTTP. Oh yeah, maybe it needs to be HTTPS or something. Reminds you of Elden Ring multiplayer? Oh yeah, I've seen a bunch of different slots where like stuff gets moderated in a weird way and then it looks like something much worse than what it's gonna be. Oh, you're just trying to put an ASCII duck in there? Okay. Yeah, I had some ASCII thing. I think that's probably because the top row of that is the same as it is for Throbbing Robin, which I have banned. Let me see if I can remove that. Yeah, because like, you can't have Throbbing Robins in your chat. Those aren't allowed. Okay. Settings, moderation. Oh. Okay. It should work. Except for, yeah. Yeah, I didn't mean to delete the last one. Let me try and add that as a blocked term again. Bang. Okay, I've done it. Okay, hopefully the duck can be seen now. But yeah, the Throbbing Robin and the Hydra should still not work. Okay, I guess that's allowed. That's probably fine. I guess I need to ban like the next line that could be there. Message wasn't posted? It banned you? Maybe it's this one? Oh, wait, no, that's the Hydra. Hang on. Gotta ban the Hydra. I don't know. There's no way to know. Oh! I see. Okay. All right. There. They should be free now. Block what you DM'd me? Okay. Yeah, can you ban any of them that get through as well if they're bad? Yeah, we'll allow a little ASCII today. I'll probably turn ASCII back off later. So. But for today, you guys have been good. You can have a little bit of ASCII. Do I ever read this chat in YouTube? Yes, but I haven't for the past 10 minutes. I'm sorry, I was looking at Twitch chat stuff. What do you think about the state of Rogue going into War Within? It feels pretty brutal. Do you think they'll make any sort of broad changes in advance of the expansion? It's probably a bit late for a lot of broad changes, but I hope so. Like, I hope that they look again at, say, Trickster Fatebound. That could be good. But yeah, I think it's probably more likely than not that there won't be big changes to any specs or hero talents at this point. Do I have Twitch and YouTube chat open? Yeah. Yeah, I got both. War Within is looking pretty bleak for people who actually play the game and are not a casual. I don't think that's true. Like, if you actually play the game, at least for me, as somebody who actually plays the game a lot, like the things that I care most about is, well, I guess, raid design, class balance. One of the things that I really like, M+ stuff. M+ affix overhaul is really cool. M+ dungeon and mob design have some nitpicks with, for sure. The raid looks sick. The raid auto catch-up mechanic looks sick. The class design, hero talents seem okay to me, not super compelling, but okay. And then like all the warband stuff is actually a feature that I will get a lot of value out of, not just for this expansion, but for the future. And PvP, I don't PvP, so I don't really have a take there. Where's the Beastmaster? Here, found him.
How are ya?
Okay, which of these mounts do I not yet have? Clutch of G-Kun. Bang! Goddamn casuals, that's right, Dorky. That's right, we hate the casuals. No Kata dungeon should be turned into an M+, they're just not designed for that. I actually don't think that it really matters which dungeons they use as starting points anymore. Because, like, I don't know, for instance, if you look at Necrotic Wake versus Mists, and you look at their Shadowlands versions, like Mist was a way better dungeon, and then they made Necrotic Wake better and Mist worse with the changes they made to it. Same with like Grim Batol. Like Grim Batol, they have reworked most of how that dungeon works over the course of the beta cycle. So really the only thing they borrowed from that is still like there from Cataclysm is like, what's the basic theme of these bosses? And then also like, what's the layout of this dungeon? But like the trash all just does different stuff than what it did back in Kata, right? Like, it's what's much more important than like which dungeons they pick IMO is just what they do with them. Even if they bring back a good dungeon, they can grief it with changes, right? Like Mists. Half the changes they made to Mists have been really bad. How does dragon riding at the beginning of Grim Batol look right now? I think you get 5 shots each. and it does a half the route it used to, so it'll be a lot faster than it used to be as well. So it basically like takes care of the first like 3 pulls only. Cata dungeons have some bad RP in them. Yeah. I mean, again, that's like that doesn't have to be true though, right? Like when they bring back an old dungeon, they can just like Halls of Valor, right? They just took out half the RP, most of the RP. Has Siege of Paralysis been the Alliance or Horde version? It's the Alliance version, which is you know, that was a sad news to find out. The Horde version is definitely much better in that place. What they can do and what they actually will do is vastly different. Yeah, but that's the point, is like they've griefed newer dungeons than the Cataclysm dungeons. They've made good changes to some of the Cata dungeons they brought back. They've made bad changes to others, right? Like, you know, Vortex Pinnacle compared to, say, Grim Batol, I think is night and day, what they've done to them. And again, yeah, like Mists versus Underrot versus Necrotic Wake versus Halls of Valor. Like, if you compare how those dungeons were overhauled, it's so disjointed from how fun the dungeons were the first time. It's like all about just whether they had a good rework of it or not based on, not really anything about how good the original version was of those dungeons. RIP Freehold. Yeah, Freehold didn't even really get that many worse changes. Freehold was just never going to live up to the memory of it. Because Freehold, honestly, I think Freehold got better objectively. Like, Freehold used to have really garbage first and second boss. If you remember. If you remember playing Freehold back in BFA, like, Skycap and Crag was absolutely disgusting. That boss would one-shot you at the lowest keystone level of any dungeon. And then 2 out of every 3 weeks were Eudora weeks. Those were really bad. They didn't change the trash that much either. Like, I agree they made the trash a little bit worse, but they made those 2 bosses a lot better. I think it's mostly just like Freehold in people's minds, you know? It ramped in your mind for what it was like. Yeah, the shouts, the enforcers definitely were, that was not good. Making annoying trash mobs more annoying, or turning them into annoying trash mobs, has been a theme of the reworks that hasn't been great. Finally cleared the Shadow Priest Mage Tower. If I ever have to do the Twin Mage Tower, he'll destroy your keyboard. That was not in any way enjoyable. Yeah, Shadow, I think, was one of the harder specs to do that one on, because you don't have a good slow, right? Because I think if you were doing that on AF with the slow corruption, or Frost Mage, it was, like, free. Actually, was it Frost that did that one? Maybe it was Arcane that did that? No, it was Frost that did that one, yeah. Yeah, I remember doing that one on Frost. Yeah, it was a good time. New Freehold sucked. It was the same key every key. You're saying you liked the old weekly rotating stuff? I hate it. Dude, I hated getting the different weeks in there. Can't wait to see what mechanics they will add to the War Within dungeons when they bring them back in the Last Titan. God, I guess it is only 2 expansions before things get brought back, yeah. It's kind of crazy that it's like it's literally season 1 of the War Within that we are seeing Shadowlands dungeons again. Like, it will have been less than 2 years. No, I guess because you didn't see them in Shadowlands 4. So it'll be over 2 years since they were playable. But it does feel a little bit too soon, but maybe that's just because those dungeons sucked. Like, if they brought back Tazavesh Gambit, I would not be complaining, and it was seen more recently than that. Although if they brought back Tazavesh Gambit and they were like, now the Murlocs are not CCable, and they cast more fish sticks. And we've modified how the pirate captain works so that you can't aim the breath anymore. Like that's like if the same person, if the same theory that they've been using with Mr. Tierna Scythe was applied to Gambit, what they would do. Am I saying fish sticks? Yeah, fish stick is it's a mechanic at the start of Gambit. It's a totem that heals the Murlocs. If you're hearing something else, I can't help you. Which dungeons do I definitely not want to see brought back? See, that's the thing, is like, I don't really care. Like, there's not really any dungeons that... Like, Necrotic Wake and Siege were probably at the top of my list. King's Rest. King's Rest would be really hard to make good. It would be almost impossible. Tol de Gore? Yeah, Tol de Gore. Tol de Gore just is geographically screwed. Like, it's almost impossible to make that dungeon not pull through the floor with how the 3D space is designed there. Tol de Gore would maybe be better with, I guess, the camera fix as well. So there's a camera fix coming in War Within that is... Here's how it's going to work, right? Like in retail right now, if I turn my camera here, this happens. You see this? Where it gets sent in. In War Within, stuff like trees aren't going to do that. And instead what's going to happen is your camera will be able to go behind the tree without moving, and you'll just see a silhouette of your character through it. So that's going to be really nice for some dungeons. Well, it's an option, so you don't have to turn it on if you don't want to. But if for dungeons like Court of Stars, you... like, where your camera would just randomly get griefed by a tree, those will be a lot better with that option available. No ground effects? Yeah, you know, obviously it's still, you're still going to need to, like... But it's going to be a lot less jarring. It's going to be a lot less annoying in a lot of those places. Yeah, Skarn as well. Again, like, you still want to see your feet. You're still going to need to turn your camera a little bit, but it's going to be less, like... It's going to hurt my eyes less, at least. It hurts my... It maybe not hurts your eyes, but, like... It's annoying whenever your camera gets sent in like that. But the point I was going to make was that Tol de Gore isn't like that. Tol de Gore, it's not... It's like the literal walls of the dungeon that are griefing your camera, not little trees and doodads and stuff. So it wouldn't help there. Is there a dungeon I'd like to see come to M+ from the very early game? Yeah, Shadowfang Keep. I think that place is cool. It would maybe have some annoying camera stuff to it as well, but I just think that dungeon's neat. Citralis would be cursed too. It's kind of cool, but also jank. Yeah, Temple Citralis, a dungeon that went mostly unplayed during BFA MDIs as well, because there was a bug with the orbs that could cause the dungeon to be not progressible. That happened like twice on broadcast, and then they were like, okay, we aren't playing this dungeon ever again. That was before my time casting as well. And I was just watching MDI. So yeah, it was not seen a lot. Do you guys remember the week? Do you guys remember the week in Temple Citralis where you could sneak to the end of the dungeon, fight the last boss, get the damage buff, and then back clear the whole dungeon if you open the doors on M0 first? You could do that dungeon like 6 key levels ahead of any other dungeon that week, because literally all you had to do was make it to the last boss, have enough to, like, with Lust, get to the damage amp phase, and then you could just do the whole dungeon. It was sick. They literally removed those runs from Raider.io. It was crazy. Nobody got banned or anything over it, but Raider.io took the points away from people that abused that. It was funny. It was a good time. Bring back Spires of Ascension? Do not ever do that. Yeah, I wonder what would happen if there was a bug or an exploit like the Temple Citralis exploit now. I imagine Blizzard would have to take away the points. And if Blizzard was acting to take away the points, I bet they would actually action the accounts as well. Like maybe they'd make those people title ineligible that season or something. I don't know. Like they did with Zinkiki. Do you guys remember Zinkiki the Druid? That was a good time in WoW's history. Hey chat, I'm wondering where should I go if I want to play WoW hardcore right now? I think there are just servers for it. Like on the classic client. But I'm definitely not the streamer to be watching if you want hardcore WoW content. I don't know if there are streamers that are currently live playing hardcore either. I imagine a lot of them are playing the new Season of Discovery season. Go to Defias Pillager. Is that the server for it? Defias Pillager Alliance. There you go. Classic hardcore. Gladge. Yeah. That was fun to watch a little bit of. But not for me to play. Last Boss Spires might be the top 5 worst M+ bosses. Yeah, Last Boss of Spires was definitely nasty. I always liked Ventanax. First Boss of Spires I didn't like. And third Boss of Spires, it was okay. The trash in there was the big offender, though. And, like, the, you know, navigation. The Forsworn squad leaders, or pack leaders, or whatever they were, squad leader, I think, were quite possibly the worst mobs ever put in a dungeon. Top 5 worst M+ bosses would be a fun tier list or draft. Yeah, it could be good. That's good for next time there's no content. I feel like the top 5 / drafts or whatever have kind of... Like, I feel like that... I bet we're probably not going to do those for a while, and then next time we do one, we'll do, like, 10 more. And then... Like, I feel like there's an ebb and flow to those being content that is interesting to Max, in particular. But maybe once he's done with Terraceland. Maybe. Also, Max is probably tired of losing them. I think he said that next time he does drafts, he's going to just do like a draft commissioner role rather than actually drafting by himself, like drafting as part of it. Which I think, from a content perspective, is probably actually even better for making some good YouTube content. Yeah, I mean, he was definitely like annoyed about it. I think it less so like more just kind of like sad, because I think he felt like he, you know, whatever he drafted, it was going to be irrelevant because he was always going to lose, which it kind of removes the excitement of doing those sorts of things if you know that nothing you're doing actually matters, which whether or not that's true is definitely how he felt, right? Yeah, I think it's definitely true that a lot of his chat will vote against him. I think partially it's just because his chat, you know, hangs out with him all the time, and then the guests are always like new and exciting, right? Like, and he picks guests that people like, and so people like voting for them. Like, I think it's less about people hating him than you'd maybe be than you know, your worst fears would have you think. Yeah, but it is definitely also like, especially once you show chat that like you don't want to lose and it'll you know, it'll upset you, there are a lot of people who are going to vote to cause that to happen as well because they think it'll be content. The main problem is he picks the worst lists. I do think that my raid list was the best, but obviously I think that because I picked it, right? Like, I think everybody thinks their list is the best, but I think he did, you know, his was definitely good. He probably did overestimate like how objectively good his was versus how much of it like was infused with takes that were really isolated to him, like Council of Blood, for instance. Yeah. You liked my bosses the most, but Growl's list was a healthier blend of damage profiles. Yeah, I definitely did just only pick single target fights. In my defense, that's because only single target fights are fun. That's not entirely true, but Blizzard definitely has a much higher hit rate on single target fights than AoE ones. Any link to these? Yeah, hang on. I think the video came out recently. Okay, I'm making the best raid of all time. Okay, here. Put it in Twitch chat. You can scroll to the end if you want to see what everybody's lists are. Note that I got Gul'dan last pick, because everybody else picked end bosses early. So I was just able to yoink Gul'dan last pick. That was pretty good. That was a vibe. No, my list was great, man. My list was cool. I was really happy with mine. I had only bangers on there. It was good. Surprised nobody picked Jaina. Jaina had some interesting stuff going on. P1 was not good on Jaina. Jaina P1 was not good. You like Council of Blood? He's the only person you've ever seen who speaks positively of it. I'm a Council of Blood simp. It was my first real progression fight rating. Yeah, I think a lot of people, like, Council of Blood was a fight that they did really well on, right, as well. I think it's whatever your first tier was, any fights that you do well on, like, it's just naturally you're going to like those fights more. Like, for me, I have favorable sentiments towards, like, the Jailer and Fireack, because my guild did well in those fights, and that's hard to separate from whether a fight is good or bad. Guarm a bit questionable? No, Guarm... Well, so Guarm was one of the, like, first progression raid fights I did, actually, so there's that effect that I was just talking about, like, it was all new and shiny. We fleeced Makes. Makes' list was pretty good. I think she had some good ones on there. I think that her list had some, like, if you liked some bosses on Makes' list, you probably also hated other bosses on her list, right? Because it was kind of, she picked some bosses that, like, sweaty elitists like, and then some bosses that, like, filthy casuals like. So I think most people have some bosses they liked on that list and some bosses they hated. Yeah, I guess Tindral and Unat were definitely very elitist coded of her fights. I loved both of those encounters, though. Those were really good. Yeah, here's the... if YouTube chat wants it, here's the video we're talking about. Did I watch the clip that Matt linked in MDI cord? No. What's, What has happened here? Oh, nice. Okay, a bug. Cool. Do I think people are going to like Silken Court? It's hard to get a handle on it. Like, the mythic mechanic seems like one that if you enjoyed Tindral, Unat, Fireack, Halandrus, like, if you enjoyed those kind of fights, then the Silken Court mythic mechanic seems like a mechanic that's gonna be really hard and, you know, technically intensive. But then it's like a 2-target cleave fight with ads and, like, fiddly boss positioning, but then it's got, like, an intricate dance of moving around the room with 2 different groups, like Sire P3. I don't know. I'm having a really hard time, like, even predicting whether I will like Silken Court or not. I think they need to go back to the drawing board with the mythic mechanic. I think it's just burnt. Do something completely different. That might be it. Yeah, like, I feel like it's a good mythic mechanic, but maybe this is the wrong fight for it. Like, maybe that mechanic is for another fight, because the fight just has too much conflicting with it. LFR is never going to kill that boss. I suspect it will be not hard at all on LFR. Bosses being really hard on Mythic tends to not correlate at all to them being really hard on LFR. If anything, hard LFR bosses are just when they randomly have a mechanic that still kills you, like Razageth knocking you off the side, just still kills you on LFR, and so that fight is hard on LFR. Or like back in the day, Odin, there was a damage reduction that Herja and Heimdall gave each other that for some reason was still in LFR, but these days they just don't give LFR bosses that mechanic anymore. Halandris LFR was cursed. Ooh, I didn't... Actually, no. I did do Halandris LFR. I only did Halandris LFR in a guild group. We did LFR Halandris splits for tier legs back in Sepulchre. Because we still were missing 4Ps the week that Halandris LFR came out, which was not good. We had two venerated people missing 4Ps, so... We literally did 2 Halandris LFR runs with one of them in each to try and get venerated legs. It was not good. Hardest LFR boss is Raz and Diurna cutting the eggs. Ooh, yeah. I don't think I did LFR Diurna. I've done a lot of LFR Razageth. You were asked to do the raid one, but you weren't home. Sag. Ooh, yeah, you missed out. It was a good one. Yeah, depending on when he does the next one, maybe you can have my spot. Like, I'm gone the weekend after TGP. Do I do any of the raid planning or cook for my guild? Yeah, I'm like always there for the LFR testing. I do a lot of the typing in the channels that we have for each of the bosses. I wouldn't say that I'm like... The thing that I mostly do to help with strategy is I'm the most, like, in tune with yoinking stuff from the Race to World First. In terms of, like, actually cooking something new for us, I don't know. I'm always involved when there's a discussion like that, but I'm rarely the idea originator for anything. Like, Zaskarin, for instance. We had a long discussion about 3-tanking that fight. That I was on Team 3-tank, but I also was not, like... It wasn't my idea. That was Jason's idea. And then we didn't implement it, and then other guilds did later, and it was really good. I wish we had. That could have been us. I think the only cool thing about Silken Court is the web mechanic for the charge, and the intermissions are kind of cool. Dispels are meh, and Scarab ads are super random. Yeah, getting the 5 around, and you just... At least for us, it seemed like you would just get 5 around and then Mass Dispel. Like on marks or something. The web charge is definitely kind of cool. The intermissions seemed, at least on heroic testing... I don't know if it was true for Mythic as well, but it seemed like you could just stop DPS during the intermission and let all your cooldowns come back up, because it didn't seem like there was any penalty for doing that. I don't know if that is still true, though, in Mythic. But if it's like that, that's gonna suck. You're scaling damage in Mythic? Oh, that's good. That's really good. Yeah, I was there doing it on Heroic and was just thinking, like, oh, this reminds me of Kel'Thuzad. There's just no reason to push. Why am I flying and collecting bronze? Yeah, I'm buying a couple extra mounts while not doing anything. The other option would be flying around Valdrakken, accomplishing even less. Sylvanas LFR was rough too. Oh yeah, I remember one LFR Sylvanas I did where some warlock put a gateway that just deposited you right in front of one of the holes in the bridges. And like 10 people took it and died. It was really funny. I think I tweeted a picture of it. It was like... The thing was, I don't think it was an intentional grief. I think they were trying to help. Which makes it even better. It was such a good screenshot. What class did you main for War Within? Mage. Hunter. DK. Evoker. Yeah. Some of those. I don't know. Or Sire LFR, it didn't grip you to the middle. People would just die to the 12-second March of the Damned. Oh my god, I forgot about that mechanic, yeah. That was, dude, Sire Mythic was such a good fight. Oh my god. I miss him. Must say, bosses until Silken Court look quite easy mechanically. Tuning must be on point for Princess and Ovinax, or we will stomp the bosses. Yeah, Ovinax strikes me as a potentially very annoying boss, if not super hard. At least for, like, I tested all those bosses with, like, 6 guildies and 14 good players that weren't in my guild. And so Ovinax was, like, nuclear difficulty under those settings. I suspect that in a good guild group, it'll be a lot easier. Is Kyvexa still good on Mythic? Yeah, it seems still pretty fun. It seems like, so we tested a pretty YOLO strat, but I watched ID test it, and their strat seems really good for that fight. Where you just, like, never move any shadows. You just always run right next to them, unless you are one of the two that is clearing on the boss at any given time. And you drag the boss between those two. That seems really strong. Yeah, those guys are really smart. We were just kind of YOLOing it. Worked okay, but... That's one thing we don't really do enough of in testing, I think, is actually try and come up with a strat. We sort of just, like, do the fight like we would on Heroic. And then, you know, find a hard part, and then... I don't know. I guess the problem is that there are people in my guild that are good at chefing up strats when encountering that kind of thing, but none of them are... All of them have, like, jobs or whatever. They don't come to raid testing. They either have jobs or sleep schedules that are bricked for waking up at 11 a.m., which is a different problem. Problem with Ovinax is that there is no salvaging if you miss an egg. Yeah, on Heroic as well. That was, yeah, like you said. Okay, I guess I didn't read the end of your sentence, but yeah, on Heroic as well. The fact that you can't miss a single egg without wiping on Heroic is... There's no way it makes it live like that. On Mythic, it felt bad. On Heroic, it felt awful. On Mythic as well, like, there are sets of 2 eggs right next to each other. And if you only break one of the 2 because your people aren't stacked right in the middle of the 2 of them, you also just wipe. So, like, that happened to us on our best pull of that was we had a spot where we broke an egg, but we didn't break the egg directly next to it, and so we wiped. I feel like they've just got to give some extra, like, just take out 1 egg from each quadrant or something, and 2 on the lower difficulties. The worm casts on Mythic are brutal. Yeah, I feel like you go to the worm quadrant last. The worms getting extra health is also the most annoying to get extra health because they're not stackable under boss. Like, you can only ever have 1 under boss at a time. So, I'm pretty sure it's like parasites, then spiders, then worms is going to be the order that makes the most sense if it goes live like it is. Because, yeah, parasites getting extra health and scaling speed increase is, like, kind of fine. If you're doing that, if you're doing them right, that's not going to matter. And then spiders getting extra health and killing your tank is annoying, but worms getting extra health and cast speed is just so brutal. Yeah, and then you can't see them because Gahoon is on top of them. That kept happening to us as well, was we didn't break the eggs under boss. Yeah. Pugging's been miserable since Blizzard made everything easier. I finished 3.8k in Season 3. Would have people that wouldn't know half of the mechanics and or not react properly. I'd do the same if I was Blizzard, but it's miserable pugging. It's a coin flip with 70% chance. Yeah, but I don't know. That type of mechanic isn't the way to... That's not the way to, like, teach players stuff, is... Because the thing is, like... You don't even learn when you wipe that way. It's, you know, it's a case of 19 people being fine and 1 person, you know, not doing a job. So there's not even a lot of, like, learning that happens whenever you wipe that way. Perma pings unironically would make that boss easier. Yeah, if you could just make your pings last for 10 seconds instead. or 20 or something. I don't know. The way that fight is currently set up, you're just gonna have a weak aura map for it anyways, so it's not gonna be like, it's not gonna be that. It's not gonna feel like it did on testing. You're gonna have a map pop up. It's gonna have a diagram of where you're gonna walk to. You're gonna have a number, and you're gonna walk to the egg that corresponds with your number. It's a very different skill than like reactive gameplay or anything like that. It's actually you don't die by the mechanic. Yeah, that was always a really frustrating part about it as well. Was like, I would see that we missed an egg, and I'd be like, we're dead. And then you actually wouldn't die until sometimes even like a minute later, because if you missed one of the early eggs, you could still clear enough to die on the last cast of the phase. Does the game still feel so bursty? I think they're trying to make it less bursty in War Within. It definitely was a little bit less bursty in the testing. And they had a recent post that I think said they're trying to do more of that before it comes out. We'll see if they succeed. I'll be honest, I think Sire Mythic's so overrated. Oh, I loved Sire Mythic. I had a lot of fun on that fight. Maybe that was just because I played tank, though, and that was one of those fights where if you were tanking Sire Mythic, not only did you have precise positioning, damage optimization to deal with, like tanks usually do, you also had a boss that was going to auto-attack you with the Wrath of 1,000 Suns every, like, 2 seconds. Or if you moved and you teleported him, and he would teleport behind you and hit you with Remornia in the back. That was like a Monka Steer tank fight. It was really fun. I'd say it's slightly overrated. Great boss for sure, but for me at the end of Hall of Fame World Race, slightly too easy. And you weren't a fan of P2. P3 all-time banger. Yeah, P3 was definitely the strongest part of Sire. That was an incredible dance. Phase 2 Sire was probably one of the best phases you've ever played. Phase 2 Sire has the distinction as well of being the last time that Echo and Liquid have had different strats for a fight, right? Like fundamentally different strats for how you move through that room, which was really cool. That's something we haven't really seen since. There was a little, I guess Liquid tried a Jailer P2, P3 strat that Echo wasn't using, but they abandoned it because it was bad. But yeah, Sire, both Echo and Liquid killed with a different P2, which was really cool. P1 was meh once you learned it. Yeah, P1 was... I mean, it's hard to make P1s that aren't meh once you've learned them. Sark P3 we also did different a bit. That's true, yeah. Yeah, like the rep pally difference as well. And the... Did you guys do the tank slashes? Like, the first 4 all in the same tank? That's what we did. I don't know if we yoinked that from you or if we adapted because we didn't have the paladin. Because, yeah, Sark P3 is the only time... That's the only time we've done something different than Echo or Liquid because we had the different comp. So we, like, actually chefed up a slightly different P3. You don't remember anymore? You were making weak Rs? Okay, yeah. I remember going in and, like... Dude, I gave myself a cooked job on Sark P3. Let me see if I can find the VOD of this, actually, because I'm pretty sure I took the first 4 tank slashes on that fight. Sarkrath Mythic, Dratnos. Okay, yeah. It was a fun time. Okay. Yeah, dude, this was a fight that you had a lot of stuff to do if you were a tank. Because you had... So yeah, I went down to clear my debuffs before the P3 started. I had this weak aura that I made that just says if I have no shuffle, because I kept getting autoed by Sarkareth without shuffle coming out of this, or coming into the P3. So I just have, this weak aura was, it literally had two conditions. It was, is Sarkareth lower than 50% health, and do you not have shuffle? Okay, so then I got bopped at the start of P3. I was the only person up here. Dwarf this, wait for Cosmic Ascension to start, transcend back, Black Ox statue down, stand on the marker, taunt the statue, get all of these glimmers, and then I take the first 2 slashes here as we kill off the, rop the ads under the boss, get some Oblivion stacks, but not 10 yet. Dude, our kill on this fight was so clean as well. That was, like, we could have done an extra 7% of this boss's health or something. It was really good. Okay, I got GS here. Try and drop in a good spot. And then I don't think this movement was very good. I think I should have come out of this one last. But yeah, then you gotta wait for the tank slash to expire. Vivify. And then it was immediately come up, take the gateway, taunt the boss, hook to the right while the rest of the raid hooks to the left. Yeah, taunt the boss, take the next slash. Because we didn't have an extra bop here. So we had to do it this way. Because a lot of guilds had a third paladin for this. You had a rep paladin in a lot of cases, but we didn't. Go right back down again with the third slash. Okay, then Snap took the fourth. You could actually take 3 and then 4. I remember we did that for a bit. I think we did that on farm. I just took 3 and 4. Because it would refresh your stack before it exploded. Oh my god, I have no shuffle. Look, I'm getting autoed with no shuffle. Not really bad. Yeah. This was a really fun fight for Brewmaster. He had so much stuff to do. And then, so now we just need to get ready to go down. This was before pings as well. With pings, it would have been really easy to set up going down. Yeah, we sacrificed this black hole. Tender the res. Transcend back. Slash away from the raid. And I needed to get to at least 5 Oblivion stacks by this point so that I could go down in 1 tick. And now we're looking for a spawn. We're running onto it. The entire raid is going down just in time. And then we're waiting to come up until like 6:57. Because there's about to be a duress. It's like duress, bubble it. Black hole. Yeah. We come up, we soak this. And then this is the point. The boss is supposed to be at like 15% here. But ours is at 5%, so... the enrage was in 25 seconds, so it just killed the boss because we had a perfect pull. That was fun. And then we got to go play Diablo 4 because we killed it in time to go play Diablo 4 the next day, which is good. That was a good fight. That was a good fight. We could have killed it much sooner than we did, but it's cool. It's always fun when you have like a perfect kill or perfect pull and you kill it. But that was the thing about Sarkareth, was that you didn't need a perfect pull to kill that fight because it was... That boss probably could have used, like, 10% more health or something. 5% more health. I think that could have happened for that fight. Yeah, that was a really cool fight visually, for sure. Look at all those TGP players from Dratnos Guild team. That's true. Forgy on the mage. Not the priest. We ever geared it? Yeah. Yeah, I guess it was the upgrade system. Still feel like Sark could have used a mythic only phase where some crazy shit went down. Like he starts breaking a quarter of the platform every 30 seconds. Oh, wow. Yeah, that would have been sick. Yeah, I agree. Mythic only phases have been... It's a shame that they're gone. Queen Ansarek, maybe? Maybe? I feel like more people play the start of the expansion than the end, so if they want to do some really cool stuff, it should be the first raid of the expansion. Last good mythic phase was Gul'dan. Yeah, there was the N'Zoth mythic phase, but that wasn't a particularly good phase, right? So I agree. There's not a person out, or there is a person out there who acts high level and is not. Expects raiders to parse blue, but we've easily killed bosses in gray and green. Parse is screwed because of so much late expansion data. Yeah, I mean, once you are later in the expansion, like, once my guild has killed the boss 10 times, including now with, like, you know, moved lust and way overgearing the content, like, that's going to be a lot of really high damage parses for some classes and specs. Not rogues until we recruited Jundies, but before then, you know, most other specs, we'd have some people doing some really high parses on different classes. And so if you kill Sarkareth 4 months into the tier, you're going to be parsing blues and greens because you're going to have a 7-minute, 30-minute fight, and, like, there's a bunch of 6-minute, 30 kills by that point. And also, like, the only guilds that have killed it are literally all guilds better than you, right? That are having, you know, a bunch of really good players in them. So it's definitely to be expected when you're killing an end boss for the first time. Yeah, you should expect to have pretty low parses across the board, and, like, you know, your 1 or 2 best players are maybe up there in the perps. But even then, if for instance there's a farm lust that other people are able to do that you can't, you're never going to have good parses against that. Forgy's mage parses? Yeah, Forgy makes us, he doesn't make us, but you can tell that he really wants to go, like, there will be a boss each tier where he's like, can we do Larodar? And we're like, what? Why do you want to do Larodar? And he'll just be like, I have rank 2 on that fight, I want rank 1. And then we go back and we do Larodar for him. That's been something we do a few times in different tiers. Yeah, or it was a Skarn. Oh, dude, it was a Skarn for a while in Aberrus. We would just be doing this. We'd be doing Aberrus farm, and we would do, like, you'd do Rashok, you'd go do Forgotten Experiments, and then everybody in the raid would start running towards the Neltharion skip, except for Forgy. He would be trying to go do Skarn so that he could fix this. Poor guy. Hate to see it. What a tough life he led, that tier. Yeah, I don't know. Parsing can be fun. Like, you know, if you want to parse 100, you have to be good. But obviously it's not like... What's important is you kill the boss. Really good players do a lot of damage, but they don't always parse, you know, rank 1s or whatever. That's not what you're optimizing for, right? You're optimizing for killing the boss, which, particularly if you have a lot of people in your raid, like, that are trying to get 100 parses, they're not all going to be able to get it. In fact, oftentimes it's true that if multiple people in your raid care about rank 1 parsing, none of them get to. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, basically in my guild, the way it works is if you care about gear for M+, if you care about parses, if you care about being in for every boss pull for your stream content or whatever, all of those things we are happy to facilitate being your priority once we kill the boss. Like, once we kill the boss on Mythic, that's cool. I will do my absolute best to get us to pull Larodar for your rank 1 parse if you want it. Obviously, like, we're not going to do it every week or something, but, like, if you really want that, we'll try and make that happen for you, right? And if you really want a piece of gear for your M+ push, we'll try and get that over to you. Like, that is totally fine once we kill the boss. Until we kill the boss, if you're worried, like, if you're trying to parse during progression, you are not long for this guild. That's a very bad thing to be doing. Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to do a lot of damage because you're trying to kill the boss, that's great. We're all trying to do that. But if you are, you know, padding on ads because you think it's the kill and you want to get a good parse for it, yeah, you're getting kicked and made fun of. Forgy sounds like a powerful mage. Unfortunately, he will be eliminated by Hope tomorrow. Yeah, somehow Hope have Jedi mind tricked him into not playing mage for Dratner's guild team. All right, chat. It is 9 hours until I need to be awake for TGP. TGP doesn't start for a little bit after, for 10.5 hours, but I have to wake up early so that I can call in and have the sound tested and all that stuff. So I'm gonna end the stream and go to bed so I can sleep. I will maybe be back tomorrow, but also maybe not. Either way, I will be back on Monday. So that's that. TY for hanging out, chat. Always fun. I always enjoy this quality time we spend together in Pandaria. Yeah, GN. Padios indeed.